Broadcasting live from the seat of the Synod, aka Lumen Grid, site of the Pool of Knowledge. This is Tap Tap Can See. Good day, everyone. I'm Cameron.
I'm Alex.
I'm Nelson.
And today we are going to do our part 2 of our Masters 25 picks. But first, this podcast is brought to you by the fine people over at CardKingdom.com. CardKingdom.com. Pay them so they pay us. No, really, they're a great online store. Their shipping is, by now, notoriously fast. Graham always says people tweet at him saying, we know you said that they were fast, but they're fast. I always get notifications that my shipment has gone out day of. And if you're in Seattle, check out their brick and mortar stores. They're really, really great. So visit cardkingdom.com/LRR. That's our affiliate code. It lets them know that we sent you. And if you do decide to order from them, in the special field, you can add LoadingReadyRun sent me button, please. And they will send you a small 1-inch button of our design that I believe this month reads, "That's a real ham sandwich."
The old 42 card draft deck.
Among other things. My favorite is Jeremy White's description that you could be sitting across the table from a ham sandwich and still lose with this deck.
Yeah.
CardKingdom.com.
Yeah.
Pay them so you get sweet magic cards real fast.
Yeah. And it is also naturally brought to you by you, the viewer, over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun.
You did this.
Yeah. Way to go, everyone. You did this. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So, smooth move. All right, so we're going to skip the Crack-A-Pack this week because this one is going to take a while. We're going from Mirrodin to...
Present.
Yeah, to
Masters
Preston.
25.
We'll go to Masters 25
Yeah.
and then it'll become
Yeah,
a
loop
cursive.
around
right.
and then, we pick Shahrazad for Masters 25. And
Oh.
Those wizards from the Lumen Grid saw this all coming in their little masks, which I always imagine are those wizards are getting up and they just still have their sleep mask on.
Yeah.
They're looking in the serum visions or whatever, but I just figure oh, he's a little sleepy wizard. You know, he hasn't gotten his little mask off yet from having a nap.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was having a serum visions. This is just windshield wiper fluid, man.
so,
You're drinking Drano, dude.
speaking of which, I guess we should start off right away.
With Mirrodin.
Yeah, with Mirrodin. Oh, Google.
The little sword.
Yeah.
Mirrodin was a huge set for Magic.
Yeah.
A lot of people quit.
Yeah, because of the new borders. The new borders had ruined Magic forever.
Right.
It wasn't just that, but yeah, it was the gameplay took a big turn. This was they just kept making. It seemed like every few years was something exciting that broke the game forever or whatever, and obviously it didn't do that. But the affinity mechanic, it was new free stuff in an explosive, aggressive way.
Yeah.
Also equipment, which took them a little while to get on top of.
Right.
Yeah.
None of the equipment from Mirrodin ended up being. Ironically, it was the whole next year before they made the really busted one. But there were good equipments. And then equipment didn't. I don't think it made as much of a splash on the scene as Affinity did.
Right. Well, I mean, it would be hard to.
Yeah.
Right.
The flavor of equipment, I think actually they kind of nailed it off the bat.
It's pretty good and very intuitive.
Yeah, it's they did a great job of making auras finally that didn't die. Yeah.
What was the iconic equipment you think from this block? Is it just Sword of Fire and Ice, or is it Bone Splitter?
It's coming from the next set. Yeah, Bone Splitter is a great one.
Say Bone Splitter.
Leonin Scimitar is basically the expansion symbol.
Yeah.
All right, so
I thought the expansion symbol was Sword of Cauldra.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah.
Which was the sort of Voltron series. Bone Splitter is it's so good.
Bone Splitter is the most vanilla equipment. It's just what do you want? Want your creatures to hit harder? Here you go.
It's the most vanilla, and it was printed before they figured out what was a fair cost to pay for this effect.
Yeah, so this card actually does get some constructed play still from now and then. Not usually in modern, but Pauper.
This is a Pauper All-Star,
All-Star. It gets played in Canadian Highlander. It's a huge pick and draft. And cubes, sometimes we use it.
It's quite aggressively costed.
Yeah.
So from Mirrodin, what are we taking? This had Chalice of the Void.
It's pretty good. Which
I mean, I guess Chalice of the Void.
Yep, this one had the spell bombs.
Ether and Pyrite spell bomb.
Yeah, Pyrite spell bomb.
I like those a lot.
I think it had Chrome
WinCon
box.
for the infamous egg stack.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, Pyrite spell bomb.
Chrome Mox, though, also very strong.
My pick for this one was just Bosch Iron Golem.
Yo, yeah.
Also, the
Since I was
noise
a
you
little
have to
kid.
make when it resolves.
Yeah, big.
He's like, I'm trying to remember exactly what he does. I know he flings artifacts.
Yeah, you can fling, I think it's any artifact for like 4 mana, including himself. Or maybe it's only artifact creatures. Is it Casagas? Any artifact.
Oh yeah, he can throw himself.
Yeah, he's also a trampler.
6/7.
So for an inordinate amount of mana, you can end the game with this guy.
Very powerful effect.
He's also very, another Braum art. There you go. Braum was still painting for Magic back in, is it 2003, I think, when this was first printed?
That's a really cool looking.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's Braum because there's underboob.
Under rust.
Does love the underboob, doesn't
And
he?
if I played
Bosch's
EDH,
pecs
I would
are
probably
really,
play this
really
guy as
way
my
up there.
commander.
Yeah, fair enough. So comfortable moving on to Darksteel?
Yeah,
sure.
let's do that.
I gotta give this one to Arcbound Ravager because I mean I didn't play a lot of Magic at this point, but I did play with Arcbound Ravager because I opened a Masterpiece one.
Nice.
Ooh.
And that card is so good.
Yeah,
it just keeps doing things.
pretty dumb.
Like you read the card and it's got 2 very straightforward mechanics on it, right? Modular and the sack an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
What could go wrong?
But oh boy, let me tell you, this card made me go cross-eyed looking at it. I just couldn't. It's one of the things where if you've ever read the Borges short story, The Aleph, he finds this thing in the basement where the entire universe is contained in this one point, and he just stares at it, and then stops staring at it and is like, "Huh, okay, well now I know that exists, and I have to go on living my life now."
Well,
And that's what it felt like looking at Arcbound Ravager.
yeah, it's just like limitless potential. I'm trying to remember what I wrote down for this.
Ravager for sure the most iconic card, the most powerful card too, I would say from the set, after they banned Skull Clamp.
I was
Right.
about to say, like, is it boring if I say Skull Clamp?
No,
I think it's really important to say Skull Clamp. Yeah,
Yeah.
You asked what happened with equipment. It took them a while to get it right, and Skull Clamp was like kind of the first big mistake.
Yeah, like I'd heard, like I guess everyone's heard the story about how
Yeah.
the -1 effect was added as kind of like they were like, oh,
A
this
downside.
this is a downside.
Is it?
For sure. I think it got changed briefly before the cards went to print, and they hadn't tested it with the -1. So, you know, these things happen. But yeah, it made a huge splash in Standard. It had to get banned. I think it got banned before 5th Dawn came out, along with some other pieces of the Affinity deck.
Yeah. Anyway, want to move on to 5th Dawn now?
Did you have a card you want to talk about from Darksteel
Oh,
too?
it was
or-
going to be like Skull Clamp.
Skull Clamp.
Also,
Okay, yeah.
I think Sword of Fire and Ice was in Darksteel.
Right,
So
another really important equipment. Sword of Fire and Ice, like really kind of like Bone Splitter, sort of right on the money in terms of playability. Does get some play in
Sophie
Legacy.
is actually
Tiny bit of
the.
play in Modern, maybe.
It's still the best of the cycle for a
Well,
really simple reason.
It always connects.
You always get effect because all the other swords have sort of conditional things that you can whiff on, but you always get to do 2 damage and you always get to draw a card off of Sophie.
Yeah, like a sort of Body and Mind also kind of always connects,
Yeah.
but it's not always connecting in a way that's useful, right?
Yeah,
like milling
like-
10 cards is maybe not your game
Milling
plan.
10 cards, I think, is good in like 60 card constructed. It's not that exciting in Highlander. Although
It's still
making
sketchy. No, it's sketchy in any constructed format because
Is
the
it?
graveyard's a resource.
Right.
Yeah, that's the real problem with this card. But yeah, Feast and Famine's like the next most popular one of this cycle.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
well,
And
because it
it's-
untaps everything.
And you're right though. Your mana might not matter, and your opponent might be empty-handed, so it might not actually do anything.
Although the protection colors are really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think actually the protection colors are one of the main reasons that Sophie is so good too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rock players hate it.
Move on to 5th Dawn?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
Alright.
yes.
I think 5th Dawn's right.
Yeah,
Right.
I got to give this one to Serum Visions. Lots of good cards in this set, but mine is Serum Visions.
Yeah.
Can you see what I wrote down? Do you have the?
Yeah,
oh,
it's
dude, that worked.
you, Nelson. You wrote down Fist of Suns.
Fist of Suns. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Infinity Gauntlet.
So this card made a brief splash. I can't remember which deck builder kind of pushed this deck archetype in Modern to some success. But yeah, you can get this down and then just try to fix your mana and cast Emrakul or whatever Ulamog, like something ridiculous for just 5 mana. It's
sweet.
one of the more interesting ramp cards in the game. It's like kind of this neat little puzzle you have to work out. Oh, Door to Nothingness is also from the set. Kind of
man.
the same,
Yeah,
kind of the
show-
same thing, right? Like,
Show them the door.
right.
So, I heard a rumor that the original templating for Door to Nothingness read "Destroy Target Player,"
Love it.
but it didn't work with the mechanics, which is a real shame because how cool would that be?
Yeah.
You can do that in Hearthstone, I think. which is funny because you can't play multiplayer.
Exile target player.
Yeah.
They can't be regenerated. I wrote down engineered explosives because it's such a weird card. I had one of these and then I traded it and then it skyrocketed in price and now I'm filled with regret.
Yep.
There you are on the door to nothingness, falling down the price hole.
But like, this is a weird card. And actually, the artwork is really good because there's this dude in the middle of all these explosions, you know, just having a fine time. He's perfectly okay.
All those elephants are getting donked.
Yeah.
But he's cool.
Yeah, the Loxodons are being smoted.
Very precise explosion.
Yeah, really cool card. Gets played a lot in Constructed, modern card.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to build a deck that plays this and the 3-mana Glissa the Trader.
Oh, yeah.
And just
That's
like,
cool.
get them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that'd be sweet.
Let's move on.
Anywho.
Okay,
Yeah,
on
we're
to
coming for you,
Kamigawa
Glissa.
block.
Yep.
I've got a theory on what your pick will be, Cam.
Oh, gee. I wonder what it could possibly be
It's
from...
3 and a blue.
Yeah.
Instant.
So we're talking about champions here of Kamigawa. Or saviors? No, champions, right?
Heart the Veil?
Champions first.
No, that's 5 in a blue, right?
Gifts Ungiven.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I love this card. I'm
Windmill
bad
Slam.
at playing this card.
One of the best cards in the game.
It's
Yeah,
just, it's really
the,
cool.
The You're Dead card. Also, the art is just beyond gorgeous.
so
Like, the art is
pretty.
unstoppable.
It's a pretty picture.
Yeah. I love it so much. Gifts Ungiven, 3 and a blue. Instant search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand, then shuffle your library.
So it's 4 mana for 2 demonic tutors, but you have to outsmart your opponent. Or you've got some sort of setup where half your deck is regrowths, or at least half the split is regrowths, so you get your 2 combo PC.
Or you're playing like...
Or
you're
2
playing
Entombs.
Yog's Will and Past in Flames. Or you're only finding 2 cards, both of which go to your graveyard.
Yeah, it's like Iona and...
Unburial Rites.
yeah, so it's like fail to find,
Which is
fail
like
to find.
which is like the dirt combo, which is the like that's the dark brain. Gifts Ungiven, right?
Given for Reanimator package.
Yeah. Gifts Ungiven for like body double, mirror entity, Revel Arc. And what's the other component? It's always it's like
Just like Protean Hulk at that point, or
sometimes you also get Red Cap
right? Okay,
in
sure.
that package.
Sure.
I feel like the Galaxy Brain would be like get 4 basics of different names.
Yeah.
It's a super flexible card. I've gone and gotten 4 lands with gifts before. Sometimes you just go get 4 counter spells. Sometimes get 4 card drawing spells.
Yeah. Gifts Ungiven is one of those cards where you have lost the game. Not immediately, but you have lost the game when this resolves
It's a
against
little
you.
bit like Fact or Fiction in that respect, isn't it?
Yeah.
What else are we putting
more
in this
so.
Kamigawa slot for
The
our old Masters
Jeeks.
20? The Jeeks.
Kiki Jiki,
Kiki
Mirror
O
Breaker.
Jeek.
Like, this card's insanity.
Really important combo piece, an excellent goblin.
Yeah, it's a really important combo piece. Yeah, really good goblin, and also just like a great value card. Like sometimes just, I think Big Red plays this fella to just make
another worm coil.
Another worm coil or another like Inferno Titan.
Right. Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah, just value Kiki Jiki, not combo Kiki Jiki.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually hilarious. There's a
If you get 2 mirror enforcers going at your opponent at the same time, they're dead.
there's a Selesnya creature combo deck in Highlander that greed rolls this card
Okay.
with no mana to cast it.
Sure. Yeah.
Huh.
Because it's just looking to, I think, either pod or Eldritch Evolution into it.
Right.
Huh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's sort of like Reanimator in that respect.
What did I suggest we include?
You put in Kenzo the Hard-Hearted.
Okay, so this is the backside of Bushi Tenderfoot.
Oh man!
Who I
right, the
totally,
flip cards.
Who I totally blocked for no reason at the pre-release back when I was super bad at Magic. I was kind of like going through my what is bluffing part of my my development, and I just had some weird read that my opponent that I didn't know at all was bluffing, but no, he totally had the Indomitable Will, and I lost like 2 turns later. Yeah, pretty rad card. Also, flip cards from this set. We didn't mention a flip card. Yeah. So
There was who's the blue legendary flip card that's banned as commander?
Another one you're talking about because it counters everything.
Counters everything.
Aratomi?
Arayo. Yeah, Erayo.
I just really like her art for this because it's a palindrome, or not a palindrome, but it, like most of these, you flip them around and, but Arayo's Sortami Ascendant and then Arayo's Essence. Like the card, it's a trompe d'oeil. It's really cool.
Well, let's sneak in our middle Kamigawa block
All right.
set before
Betrayers
we
of
get back to
Kamigawa.
That's right. Yeah.
My pick. I mean, it's Ninja of the Deep Hours. Okay,
Nice.
fine. It's
That's
Ninja of
sweet.
the Deep Hours.
That's sweet.
It totally is sweet.
I almost picked Ninja of the Deep Hours too. I went with Okiba Gang Shinobi.
So you
We
both
just
picked
wanted to
ninjas.
give it to
Yeah.
the ninjas. That's
Yeah,
great.
like this is such a sweet mechanic, and I want to
Ninja
see
of the
it
Deep
back
Hours,
again.
great card too. Yeah.
Like the mechanic needs to be renamed if they go anywhere but Kamigawa with it. But it's really sweet and like a mile deep, and allows you some
There's
really
a lot
interesting
going on in
plays.
this artwork too.
Yeah,
It's like he's like posing and he's got a knife. He's killed this guy. He's like stealing something.
yeah. I mean, like you just want to hit up and B to throw the shuriken,
Yeah.
right?
So my card gets played a lot less in constructed than Cam's Ninja, but it was like this huge beating in draft.
Absolutely.
Like it when
bet.
when someone bounced their value creature that you didn't block because it was smaller than their other creature that they were like legitimately throwing away on this combat, and then you just like take 3 and like have to pitch your hand basically. Yeah.
Was
guy was
Manriki
terrifying.
Gosari in this block?
I think it was in this set. Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
set? That one's a really cool one because they're just like, wait, why don't we just print an equipment that destroys equipment?
They
Yeah,
probably
the
knew that
safety
they had
valve.
to. Yeah, they had to print that one because of the other important card that we haven't mentioned yet.
Smashy,
The card that
smashy.
shall not be named.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's from Savers. It was the next set. They're
Right,
like, we
right,
did
right.
it. We made an equipment that was too good, which is called.
Umezawa's Jite.
That's right.
Give him the jits.
Yeah.
This one's pretty stupid.
This was actually kind of the scourge of constructed. When I first started getting into playing standard at FNM, other players had Jite and I didn't yet, so I was just like, I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait for it to rotate out.
Yeah.
And then I started playing standard.
Yeah. So the story goes that the third ability on this equipment originally was make a black mana,
Wow.
and they were like, no, we'll just make it removal instead. That'll be more fair.
And I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, they're not wrong. That's neat. I hadn't heard that story before.
Really?
Yeah. That's cool.
Apparently up to the last minute, it was like make a black by removing a counter from this equipment.
That's exciting.
This card is such a pain in the ass. Like if you will go out of your way to make sure it never gets equipped and never hits you.
I've seen Highlander players stifle the equip trigger.
Yep. If it keeps,
Which is probably a correct play.
Yeah, like just
yeah.
beads of sweat. They're like, oh, the one turn I went shields down and I got jitted for it. Like this is
like we mentioned with the sword cycle. It's like they have this spell-like effect when they hit a player. So it's like you can throw blockers away to them, assuming that your blockers get around their protection abilities, right? But with Jite, it's like all they have to do is get into combat and deal their damage, whether it's to a creature or a player. So then they get their spell-like effects no matter what, as soon as the creature's attacking or blocking, and they can get them on the blocks too.
Yeah.
like this gets onto Mirren Crusader and the game is over.
Yeah, that's
right?
usually true.
Well,
like
because you go to first strike damage, get 2 counters, pump it, and then when it goes to second strike damage, it hits you for 6.
I love that if you somehow get into an unstable draft and pick up a Numazawa's Jite from the card that lets you pick anything that's banned.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
You can one-shot somebody with a triple strike, dude.
that's awesome. The goblin with triple
Yeah,
strike.
the god with a triple
Holy
strike
moly.
will one-shot. Well, I think it does 21 damage with Jite.
That's awesome.
That's savage.
Yeah.
All right.
Rolling on to Saviors of Kamigawa.
Sounds good.
I picked Pithing Needle, I think, or Pithing Needle.
Pithing Needle?
Yeah,
I'm not really
I
sure how to
actually
say it.
don't think I had anything for this one because I'm like, I have no idea.
I had one good one and one exciting one. Kataki War's Wage.
So Pithing Needle and Manriki Gusari were both in
Right,
this set, and they could both shut down Jite.
Really?
That's good.
I thought. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because Pithing Needle is a great answer to Jite because everything's an activated ability, both equipping it and using any of the abilities.
Right. Yeah. No. Cool.
But yeah, and we mentioned Mandariki Gusardi, which is like just kind of cool. Mm-hmm. You can just bust stuff with it. Though,
also, Kataki, reasonable.
Yeah, Kataki War's Wage, just like Academy players hate him.
Yeah. He was Kataki was a really important card that helped shut down. At the time, was still the reigning standard archetype of Affinity.
Right.
So
I think it's a lot of why I like this card is the artwork. It's so cool.
The artwork's really cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this applies the Tabernacle effect to all artifacts.
Yeah.
Which is just like, oh, a taxation effect on all my free mana. That's bad.
Yep.
So he's a really good hate bear.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
hate piker in this case. Although
Yeah, I've noticed that, as just an aside, hate bear seems to be a very broadly applied.
it's really loose.
Yeah.
Hate bears are sometimes 3/2s. Occasionally they're 1/2s.
Sometimes
or like
they're
3/1s.
Yep. Spirit of the Labyrinth, a hate bear, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, dude.
They're
Absolutely, it's the hate part that's relevant, and the mana cost and stats are less relevant.
they've got upper body strength.
Yeah.
Because they're 3/1. So I don't think we could talk about this expansion without mentioning a very special card, which I believe is unilaterally considered the worst card ever printed.
Oh.
It's One with Nothing.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
more people give it to Sorrow's Path, but One with Nothing is a bit of a poster child for being a bad card.
Yeah.
One with Nothing has actually found its way into some decks. Right?
That's-
Just because the
that's
graveyard
wild.
is a resource.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's decks that revolve around
I
getting
think for a
card
long
cards
time
in
this
the
was
graveyard.
just the, like,
Hilariously
it does
bad card.
nothing,
Yeah.
except that it kind of does something.
It's awesome that its name is Nothing and the art sort of backs it up. Like you're
Yeah.
just like,
I'm just
oh,
like,
no.
what have I done?
There
When
is
nothing
nothing.
remains, everything is equally possible.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome, horrible rare to open in your pack.
Yeah,
And
like
it's
this
like
had to
$5
feel
$5.
so bad.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's if you're a kid and you open this, like you might not be listening to this podcast
Yeah.
because you quit Magic.
Yep.
So
But yeah, now I've seen this crop up in the occasional modern list.
yeah, it's neat
Really?
that
What
it was
does
a
it
card
get played in?
like Dredge, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like the people
That
tried
seems
in
like
Dredge.
really good in Dredge.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, people will give it a shot. But moving on again
Yeah.
to
Oh,
Ravnica,
boy.
City of Guilds, Rav block.
This is such a good block.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's just like,
Should I just start us off by saying for Ravnica, City of Guilds, Dark Confidant?
It's a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but yeah, that's
I mean,
You
where,
know,
where do you start?
old
You have
glory
to start
days of the
somewhere. So
invitational card.
first
Thanks,
bite,
Bob.
Dark Confidant.
Mm-hmm.
1 and a black, creature, human, wizard, get a 2/1. Why is he a 2/1? Why not? At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. I remember reading somewhere on the subreddit, people were talking about whatever the newest spoiler card was and how it was bad, and people were like, I can go back and I can find people talking about Dark Confidant and saying how it's bad, how it's a bad card that you never
Yeah.
want.
You will die to this card sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like
Oh, yeah.
the thing about Dark Confidant is like the drawback is real.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes you flip Tombstalker.
For sure.
I saw that happen.
Yeah.
We made a joke about that before I saw that play actually occur.
Yeah. Bobby, what you got for me?
Oh, a game loss.
Death. Death. Bob has death for you.
Yeah, for sure.
But-
That was a thing back in the standard format at the time, or extended, maybe both. But yeah, it's
But,
like
but I mean, like, at that point, right, like, if Bob kills you, you probably also had a pretty good game up until that point,
Yeah.
right?
for sure, yeah, and it's still correct to put him in your deck because of like the percentages of
Yeah.
the times you'll get killed.
If,
But
if the last thing you do in your life as a black player is ask Bob to hold your hand before the end comes, then you probably had a fairly decent match.
Can we just briefly talk about how rad the art for Tombstalker is?
Eventually.
It's jumping way ahead, but man,
Yeah.
this card,
Oh, it's good.
you can
so
pick it for
good.
future sight if you want.
I definitely
Yeah.
will. That's appropriate because we'll pick it now and come back to it.
Yeah.
My pick for this card is also black from
Yeah.
Ravnica. It's Ribbons of Night. I started drafting more than I think I ever had before when Ravnica came out. I really loved the lore. I was just excited to get to play Magic cards. And yeah,
Whoa,
I thought
what
this
is-
set was a real home run. For a lot of people, it's their favorite set, or the block
Yeah.
is their favorite plane or
is-
whatever.
Who is on this art?
Like which character in Magic or
Yeah,
whatever?
I've seen this character in other artwork.
Kind of always assume it's like a Selesnya Guildmage getting fried no matter what. But,
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, she has kind of a weird hat that look. You know what? Her hat kind of looks like Nicol Bolas or like Kozilek's hat a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, this was just a sweet 2-for-1. It was a black damage spell, so it couldn't target players, but it did swing you back in the race really well and drew your card. So you could kind of like, you could first pick this and then like end up in some sort of greedy 3-color deck and then get beaten up a bunch in the early turns and get back into the game with Ribbons of Night.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I got one for you. Life from the Loam.
Oh, yeah.
I got to rep Surge here, but it's funny because this is
What
a card.
Weird card.
It's so weird. It's also just like a really great card from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And weirdly, this is a card that I've like purchased and traded and purchased and traded and purchased and traded because I keep intending to put it into decks and then being like, nah, I'll never play this.
I haven't played this card
and
and
then
I bought it.
And then I
a year and a half
regret it
ago.
intensely,
Right.
and I just keep.
See,
So-
this
You
is
should
the
play
flavor.
it. It's good.
This is the
I
flavor
have.
of green
Okay,
that I
you have
love.
one. Okay, good.
So I just want to talk about like what this card actually does. So first of all, great Therese Nielsen art, just like this landscape. For 1 and a green, you get a sorcery that returns up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. But the interesting part is it has Dredge 3, which means that if you would draw a card, which means any draw for any reason you can replace with a Dredge, you mill 3 cards and put it into your hand. So dredging it kind of fuels itself.
Yep.
And you can get into cool loops with like the 1-mana cycle lands, because
Yep.
you can cycle those, replace their draw effect with a Dredge on this, and then just keep pulling stuff out of your graveyard.
It's a draw engine. It's a little complicated and a little mana intense, but it also gives you lands. So, yeah.
It's just a really cool effect.
It's good with Glacial Chasm too. It's good with Dark Depths and Thespian Stage. Okay, have we all picked a card from Ravnica?
Yeah.
I believe
All
so. Next on to Guild Pact. Or, yes, Guild Pact is the next one. I think I need to give this one to Electrolyze.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Selesnya Guildmage getting fried.
Yeah.
Great card.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing
Have you
from Nelson
seen-
over there.
The full art promo version of this?
No.
I have one. It's so gorgeous.
It's really
But
pretty.
like-
They gave them out at Champs right after Guild Pact came out.
But 1 blue-red instant. Electrolyze deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. Draw a card. Like, for the longest time I was like, man, this guy's really excited to be casting the spell.
It's like, oh.
And then I was like, why is it Selesnya Guildmage casting Electrolyze? Oh, I get it now.
Understood.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I mean, this... I have to feel like this is, to some extent, Wizards not really knowing what it does yet. What's a blue and red effect? I don't know. Shock them and draw a card. Fine. Okay.
Sure.
Fine,
It was
print that.
Fire Ice too. You know,
Yeah.
Fire Ice from Invasion. Yeah.
Fire Ice is so
You can
good.
split the damage if
Yeah.
you're in blue.
Excuse me.
That's
they printed this a bunch
Dak
of
fighting
times.
some zombies, it looks like.
Yeah.
That's the comic book promo. It's also a nice one.
Interesting. I wanted to give this to one that is maybe the only playable example of a really weird mechanic. It's Orzhov Pontiff.
Ooh, yeah, with Haunt.
Yeah. Haunt.
I still don't know how this effect works.
It's weird.
It's a little weird.
He's like,
So you go to the graveyard, you die, right? And then your creature haunts, which targets another creature.
yeah, it's sort of like.
So it's an ability on the stack
attached.
that's happening once the haunt creature is in the graveyard.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it exiles itself, but it's a linked ability. So it's in exile, but it knows which creature it's haunting. So if that creature does something other than die, like say it gets unsummoned or whatever, then the linked ability stops working. You just have an Orzhov Pontiff in exile forever.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, waits until it just hangs out and waits till the haunted creature dies, and then bang, you get your effect again. And also your haunt creature, I think, goes to the graveyard.
Yeah, so
What's with Ravnica and these weird pseudo aura effects like this and Cipher?
yeah, I don't know, but
There's ghosts. It's the theme, right? It's
Yeah, I
like
guess so,
on
yeah.
Ravnica. There's
Death is not the end.
That's right. Yeah, there's ghosts are an important part of life.
I was gonna say, I think I gained appreciation for this card when I had it explained to me that there's a trick with it, where you, if you have a sack outlet, you play this guy with the -1/-1 mode, and I believe you sack him with that trigger on the stack, haunt a creature that's about to die
on their side,
to the -1/-1, and then you get to like -1/-1 them again. So you like, cast him, choose the wither or the shrivel effect, sack it, put it on a 1/1. The shrivel effect goes off. That thing dies. You get the shrivel effect a second time. So you can -2/-2 their team, which is pretty sweet.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Or +2/+2 your own team, minus whatever other creature you want to sacrifice.
I should start playing with this guy.
He's good.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, he gets played in Modern.
He's an out to True Name Nemesis.
Yep.
Oh wow, yeah, he is too.
Yeah, it's a really good utility card.
Okay.
What did I pick? I also like Electrode.
Electrode. So good.
Yeah, that guy.
But you picked Tin Street Hooligan, which is very...
I'm staying on flavor here. My what are they called? Enhanced spells. I like the enhanced spells from Ravnica. It's kind of like the unsung mechanic that isn't really a mechanic. But yeah, this guy was a really important standard card. Also another out to Jitte. And yeah, maybe it's like the first of a long line of dudes that did this, the sort of Manic Vandal set. But it was like, or maybe, there was older ones. There was like Partick Vandal or something. But this was the one that came out that I remember the most from this set. It was really exciting to just like have a strong shatter strapped to a piker that could blow up a Jitte.
This one's like one of the least expensive ones for this effect.
Or sorry, no, Jitte would have rotated out by now in that standard format. Or no, it didn't. No, it's right after Kamigawa, right?
The thought that counts,
no,
right?
for sure. No, that's right. He did blow up a lot of Jittes. Okay.
On to Dissolution?
Yeah.
Dissension, sorry.
Although that's a great name for a Magic set.
Ooh, yeah.
Or a jazz album.
Dissolution, yeah.
Yeah, or a bar maybe.
Yeah. I would Dissolution would definitely be a goth bar.
Hide Seek.
You like Hide Seek?
All day.
Yeah, this is a very you card.
It's I love this card so much, and it's really good and really weird.
Tons of utility.
It's just like it does all sorts of stuff, and it's like virtually never dead.
Yeah.
I've talked about this on North 100 before, and just sort of raved about it. It's also just like a cool Mardu card that you only really get to play in Mardu. Because I don't think you would want to play one or the other half of this in any other deck. But if you have access to all three colors, then it's just like, oh, this is cool. You can brown combo or like gain some life out of nowhere, or just like bury in a problem artifact.
Yeah, I think Hide has maybe been a sideboard card, like just available in Boros, or is like the best out to certain artifacts or enchantments.
Well, it's really good against
time.
Stuff like
It's like indestructible dudes, or exactly.
Yeah.
Are we all doing the thing where you can tell when it's a flip?
Which way do you like to read them?
Yeah.
Exactly. If you're drafting with someone and then...
Yeah, and they're like...
Yeah. Then you know there's an Aftermath card in the back. Yeah, exactly.
Writes down far and away.
I think I just picked like Breeding Pool for this set because like we haven't talked about it yet, but these were like the second coming of original duels came with this block, and that was a big selling point of buying back into Ravnica.
Yeah. Wasn't Graft a mechanic in this set?
It was. I couldn't really remember if there was a Graft creature that kind of mattered. You generally drafted the Graft deck and it was good.
Squirter?
Sure, that was an important one. Like Cytoplast Rootkin, I guess, got a reprint at some point.
Was Plaxcaster Frogling in this set?
Almost certainly.
That
so was Omnibian.
We're just making up words, aren't we?
And and the Dissolve that's harder to cast, right? What's it? It's like 2 blue and a green for like counter anything.
What's that one?
A bunch of good cards in the Simic Guild, basically.
The one with Flash that hexproofs your team.
Oh, what is that one called?
I thought it was Plaxcaster Frogling, but I was definitely wrong.
Is it maybe just like Plaxcaster? No, I forget. I know what you're talking about though. There's a bear. There's also Vigian Hydropon. That's like the splash snake that brings 2 more snakes.
They had a lot
I
of fun
think that's
with
what
this
it's
set,
called.
didn't they?
What's the one that
Yeah, they have really weird names.
What's the Simic card? It's not a graph card, but it ETBs and it blows up an artifact.
Well, no, it's not an ETB. There's when it attacks. Or sorry,
when it
damages
attacks,
a player.
right.
Yeah, it's like
flyer.
a 2/3 flying beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to reprint the first Modern Masters set.
Wow, I'm blanking on it completely.
But it's...
That's okay, you know what we mean.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
It's from this.
Trigon Predator.
There you go.
Predator. Everyone loves Trigon Predator.
The triangle.
It loves triangles.
Also from this set, Actual Triangle, Azorius Signet.
Yeah.
Oh,
and Bar of Soap, Simic Signet.
Yeah. My favorite's got to be my pick for this is Azorius Guildmage.
That's a good card. Yeah.
Stifle on a stick.
Cool card, cool art,
Yep.
cool effects.
Yeah.
Get
Taps
it.
down creatures, right?
Yep. But yeah, Azorius Guildmage. I want to hang out with this Vidalkin.
Right?
It's like half of this whole block was just a bunch of cycles, which is sweet.
I want to go to the gym with this Vidalkin.
Right? Those abs, though.
Yeah.
The abs and pout.
Yeah,
Yep.
you just want to be like
Detached sleeves.
not cool enough to hang out with this
Like,
Vidalkin.
hey!
Yeah, I want to go to her DJ set.
Right,
actually.
right. Yeah, that'd be great.
Totally. It's just like spinning, and then like the black lights are on, just glowing.
Yeah.
What do you
That's
think
cool.
those arm bracers do for you? Exactly?
I think those are
Look
actually
sweet.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are
yeah.
detached sleeves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are too.
So you
Yeah.
could pull them up. They keep you as warm as you want to be, and also glow a bit.
I guess.
They're mysterious.
Yeah,
She's a
that-
very mysterious lady.
That's
Really,
correct.
really great art on this card. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Next.
Cold Snap or
Yeah, I believe.
Oh man, what a weird set.
super weird set. Cold
Yeah.
Snap, the redheaded stepchild of Magic sets, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
do
hey
we put-
kids,
where
you
do
loved
we-
old cards.
Where do we put you exactly?
This one
Yeah.
is sort of
Remember
on its own.
Ice
It
Age
wasn't.
kids?
It wasn't part of a like.
Well, yeah, it was announced as like the third set of the Ice Age block, right? Because Homelands wasn't really like Homelands was
Yeah.
kind of another world, but it was like packaged together to.
Well, wasn't
Do
it
drafts
Ice
or whatever.
Age Alliances?
And then like Homelands kind of came out,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. We weren't on the same world anymore or whatever. So here we are. Finally, we found it. We found an old file. Mm-hmm. It was a wacky thing that.
It's
that Wizards
very
did.
wacky.
Yeah.
Speaking of wacky, I like that your note on here is that somebody else took Panglacial
Yeah, I
Worm.
saw. So we have a shared spreadsheet that Alex made for doing this podcast, and he took my favorite card already.
Sorry.
I didn't know anyone else liked him, but yeah, Panglacial Worms from this set.
I mean, I don't think I've ever played this card, but it's just such a cool effect.
I've played it a bunch. Step lately, and we might be able to use it as a bridge.
Yeah,
there we
this
go.
card-
I didn't even read that. You've got it up on the screen
Yeah.
now, but yeah.
Wait, Ib is in this set?
Is it?
Ib is not from the set. He's from Time Spiral, but
Okay.
he has. He's from this world or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Gets
Cold Snap
around.
takes place in ancient
Dominaria.
Dominaria
Yeah.
or whatever, and yeah, Ib is a goblin tactician that interacted with Panglacial Worm at some point.
I just want to explain what this card actually does because it's like there's no other card that does this.
Super weird. It's like from
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
It's 5 green for a 9/5 trample. So, you know, a big idiot.
He's a big idiot.
But while you're searching your library, you may play Panglacial
Cast,
Worm from your library.
So you can just like fetch an island or like
A forest,
crack
yeah.
a fetch, and be like, well, I'm here. You know, it's just in like the impulse aisle.
If you've
next
ramped
to
up
the-
to
next to the
yeah,
register.
so I liked it a lot because I was like, it was like one of the tools to maybe sneak a win in my like first deck that I put a ton of reps into in Canadian Highlander, which was Naya Ramp. So I just like get a bunch of lands in play, but I would have like maybe gone empty-handed and like gotten all my stuff wrathed, and like I wasn't using a bunch of
Right.
planeswalkers yet. So this was like end of turn, I can sacrifice my Windswept Teeth, and while I'm doing that, I can cast Panglacial Worm. Sure, Josh Lane can counter that, but then I can untap and then cast an Inferno Titan, and maybe that'll resolve or whatever.
Right,
Pretty
right,
cool.
right.
So
Yeah. I feel like the rubbins you get is if you cast this after you get Path to Exiled.
right, yeah.
It's like,
There
oh
you go.
yeah, how about this healthy boy?
So yeah.
I've got a kind of a boring one. I really, really love the artwork on the reprint of the snow-covered basics.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, the eclipse going on a
I
couple
think
of
they're
them.
really pretty.
Yeah, like snow-covered island in particular, the glacier.
Really great just use of space on snow-covered island. Just it's got a shape that doesn't belong to I don't know if any other Magic cards. Right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I can
really pretty.
feel this cold.
It's like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
that's chilly.
Yeah, like the cold that gives you a headache.
You can sort of like see your breath turning into shards, and you're just like, I'm gonna die out here.
Well, I mean, you're from Toronto.
Yeah.
Right? You felt this kind of cold.
It's very, yeah.
Like the cold where you blink and your eyes freeze shut for a second.
Yeah.
Where you feel ice crystals forming in your nose when you breathe. You're going to school and it just wasn't quite cold enough. They could still start the buses in the morning, technically. So school's open.
Just light
Your
a
face
fire
is like
under the
all
bus.
hard because your nasal cavity is frozen.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
no,
the
it was
planes.
the planes.
Yeah, planes
The
really pretty.
planes is just
big
Like
Yeah.
the moon set or something, whatever. that
Yeah,
is.
this is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's very cool.
Okay, anything else from that side we want to talk about?
I mean, there's Dark Depths and Counterbalance.
Yeah, Dark Depths and Counterbalance. A couple busted cards, both from this set.
Very good.
Yeah.
At the time, didn't seem like that big a deal. Actually, no, that's not true. Counterbalance immediately became like a Tier 1 Legacy deck.
Yeah.
But Dark Depths wasn't a real thing yet.
No, well, we didn't
Until
assessment
Zendikar.
stage.
Yeah, well,
and
Hexmage,
like
yeah.
Hexmage, yeah.
Ether Snap was already printed, but it cost like 7 mana or something.
Yeah. And Vesuva was a while off, wasn't it?
Vesuva
Time
was
Spiral.
so Vesuva doesn't actually work.
Oh, it doesn't work.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All right, moving on.
Yeah,
To the aforementioned.
what a weird set.
I think.
Oh,
I don't think
Lorwyn.
Vesuva
Lorwyn.
works.
Oh wait, no, it's
No. Oh,
Time
sorry.
Spiral.
Time Spiral.
Time Spiral.
Right, okay.
Okay, so Vesuva's in the next set.
yeah. Time
I feel
Spiral.
like if this was a thing that would have been a standard deck, right? What is the difference in interaction? Is it that, okay, so the legend rule, as it worked at the time, maybe meant you just had to destroy one or the other, or it destroys both, I think? Maybe it's like it would come in and destroy both so you wouldn't get the sacrifice effect. Whereas then later the legend rule changed so that you sacrifice all but one. So now we can have Desmond Stage Dark Depths. That must be it, because I'm sure Vesuva Dark Depths, someone would have figured it out. You know, there's a lot of really smart people that play the Pro Tour. Yeah. So I assume that, yeah, at the time, Dark Depths Vesuva was not a standard, you know, powerhouse. Okay, so anyways, Time Spiral.
Time Spiral, cards from the future and also the past.
More
Yeah.
the past, yeah. The theme for Time Spiral was more the past. So it was like cards, actual reprints. There were the purple cards in the pack that were time shifted. So they were just reprints with like new updated border and updated Oracle wording and stuff. They wrote out all the correct rules for like Spiny Starfish, I think, which is kind of funny. And then the theme of the cards was like, we're back in Dominaria and like there's rifts. So like things from the past are coming through. So we saw like other creatures that remind us of old cards.
Right, right.
It was like a nostalgia set. Like Masters 25.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We got some cool stuff, like Dread Return.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really good card.
Good
Yeah.
weirdo card.
Yeah, like what else? Academy Ruins.
Really important card.
Enabling Slaver Lock for the first time.
Ancestral. Like
Ancestral
Ancestral
Vision.
Visions.
Glad you brought up the suspend mechanic. Aaron Ephemeron, watch out for that guy in draft. He'll get you.
Yep, absolutely.
Also, Flash is printed on creatures, I think, for the first time.
Ooh.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Is this where
giving
we-
us Teferi, Mage of Zolfir.
Is,
Sorry, go ahead.
refresh my memory. Is this our introduction to two blue, 2/2 Flash, bounce something or
No, you're 2 sets early. That's okay.
Is he Lorwyn?
No,
No.
he's from Future Sight.
yeah, Future Sight. That's it.
I remember because he's my pick for that set. We're talking about Venser Shaper Savant.
That's the one.
So we might as well do that now instead of later. Yeah, he's really good.
Can I just go with ultra cheaty mode here and say Lord of Atlantis?
Sure.
the reprint of Lord of
Your
Atlantis.
favorite card in all sets.
Yeah.
The reprint of Lord of Atlantis, I think, is like the second most sought after one. The Time Spiral one's like second most sought after Beta.
Yeah, well, because
Really?
the color saturation's really good.
Yeah, the color saturation is great. Also, the set symbol looks cool. Like it blends well with the color scheme of Lord of Atlantis.
I just
Yeah.
picked up
Gosh,
a
yeah.
collector's edition, one of these guys.
Neat.
He looks really good,
Looks-
and the
look good.
typesetting is so bad.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
really funny.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a favorite card from Time Spiral we haven't mentioned yet, Cam? Or
I think I got them all.
okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
All right,
I like
moving
the
on
lands
to
from this set, but
Planar Chaos.
Planar Chaos.
no.
The Lord of the spacing on the
Oh
right side.
yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it just sets your teeth on edge, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this was the had all the color shifted cards.
Yeah. So
Which
like
was
Right.
just
The color
sort of-
applies all in the wrong spot, right?
Yeah, like functional reprints of cards in a different color.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Planar Chaos is like the present set, but it's like an alternate reality present.
So you
So
have
you have-
cards like Damnation.
Damnation, Wrath of God in black, which
Yeah.
people really had been clamoring for forever. Black had Mutilate, but it really felt like Black deserved
Like I just want to blow up everything
more
and have it
mass
stay dead.
destruction. In terms of like the flavor of Black, Damnation was a long time coming.
yeah. Other like examples of that would be something like Sarah Sphinx. right? Like a 4/4 flyer with vigilance, but it's blue.
Yeah, so this is exactly. This was not so weird, obviously. Some of the reprints were weirder than others.
I know what my pick is for this.
Porphyry Nodes is another example. It's a reprint of Drop of Honey.
Drop of Honey.
But in a color actually that makes sense for it to have. So there's like a couple different things going on. Sometimes it was a weird thing for the color to have, and sometimes it was like the one that makes sense. Whereas in the past, Drop of Honey was like, why does green have this?
Yeah, I really want to play a Drop of Honey deck someday. But since I don't have $400 or whatever Drop of Honey costs.
It's a lot. Mana Tithe?
Oh yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah, they never see Mana Tithe coming.
It's true. Yeah, Mana Tithe, awesome card.
Also, Sting Scourger.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
What a good boy.
Two really good examples of stuff that those colors don't have access to normally. Right.
The things that people never see coming.
For sure. The white counterspell and the red Mana War.
You never see Mana Tithe coming. Well, sometimes you do, but
sometimes you do.
You're just like, don't Mana Tithe me, bro.
So I can't remember the name of my pick for my favorite card to draft back in this set, but it was like a blue morph, and when you unmorph it, you can like give target creature +2, -2, or -2, +2. So again, it was like a thing that blue doesn't really, a certain color doesn't really have access to, which is like a Necrotol kind of fire imp sort of effect, right? It's like unmorph and you can kill a creature in blue. And I can remember what he looks like, but not what his name is. Sorry, Morph Buddy.
I think we probably also need to mention here that Sting Scourger is a goblin using a Mana War as a flail. Because just to head off all the comments in the thing where it's like, hey, did you guys know?
I actually never put that together. I thought that was just some lightning.
No,
but it's a jellyfish.
It's a jellyfish on a stick.
Hilarious.
It's literally a Mana War.
I feel so bad that I'd never figured that out before. Good job, Sting Scourger. Of course, because he's stinging you. Yeah.
You're like, I want to go home. Somebody pee on me.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, like, what is the flavor here? He just whips you with this thing, and you're like...
He pokes you with it. He just
forget
beats
it.
you with it.
Yeah, and you just like... Okay, if that is how you're going to treat me, then I am going to leave.
I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Yeah, I don't have to put up with this. And just turn around. Lord of the Pit's like, no, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah. So we've caught up with Future Sight.
Yep.
Right. Thank you, Shaper Parasite.
Oh,
well
what
done,
an
Paul.
interesting card.
Shaper Parasite.
I've never seen this card before.
No, I'm going to
You have not drafted Planar Chaos, have you?
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's totally fair. Like, it's a draft card.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just really sweet, and, like, blue doesn't usually get access to this effect. This is like a black effect, basically.
Yeah. How interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. On to Future Sight, then.
Yeah, so I mentioned... wow, it's gone out of my mind already.
Goyf?
No, not Goyf. Well, Goyf is... We have to talk about Goyf, because it's a Goyf. It's Goyf.
But Tombstalker?
Tombstalker.
Right. Tombstalker's your pick. Yeah, so the delve mechanic first showed up.
Yeah.
Turns out it was futures shifted from Concept Arc.
Yep, but he didn't actually appear in Concept Arc here.
No, he did not.
Wah,
He turned
wah.
into a fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
A big, ugly fish. Oh, this card looks so cool.
It's really good looking.
They introduced like the weird border from the future, so the card frame looked all weird.
Still waiting.
And it's, yeah.
I really like, well, what they did was they moved the mana cost to underneath the name and on the left-hand side. So for right-handed people, if you fan your cards.
fan your cards, you can see all the relevant information.
As opposed to just seeing the first few letters of the name of each card, you can see the mana costs.
Well, there's also an icon in the top left.
That's right, it tells you the card type.
Yeah.
3 slashes for the creature.
I'm a big fan of the Future Sight card frame.
very cool.
But I don't know if it's ever happening.
Probably not.
Yeah. It's okay.
Actually, also from the Delve cycle is, the Counterspell.
Logic Knot.
That's the one.
Yep. You did it.
Yeah, Logic Knot is a cool counterspell.
My pick is Venser Shaper Savant.
Yeah, I would also like to give a big shout out to Venser Shaper Savant.
Really strong.
The card with my favorite art in this set has to be the red-black Filterland.
Oh,
Graven
Graven Cairns.
Yeah, great
I
art.
love these.
I think my favorite
love
on
these
the
guys.
set is actually Venser too.
That's really cool looking.
Well, he's like playing Magic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, he is. Huh. How about that?
But I love
this
these.
Graven Cairns is sweet. This is the one I have.
With the flavor text, shamans of Karsangir claim that their sun sets because it can no longer bear the gaze of those pain-carved cliffs. I'm like,
dang.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
That's really metal.
When your art intimidates stars, you're really doing it.
Yeah.
Actually, this land was part of a cycle of weirdo lands.
Yep.
Like allied color weirdo lands. So you got
so like Nimbus Maze.
Yeah, Nimbus Maze.
River of Tears.
Horizon Canopy.
Yeah, Horizon Canopy
Horizon Canopy.
and Grove of the Burn Willows.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of which ended up playable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In fact,
they're
I think
good.
all of them
They're
are
all
playable.
good.
River of Tears is a weirdo one.
Well, they're all weirdo.
Yeah, but
they
like-
just had there were duels that had peculiar attributes to them.
I just like River of Tears because it makes blue mana on your opponent's turn and black mana in your turn. So you can make like black mana when you want to like hand attack your opponent and blue mana when you need to counter them.
It's the perfect land, really.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's the only time you would ever need to do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, these are all. The idea was they're all from misplaced sets, and I think we've only caught up with one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in Lorwyn, we got the rest of the filter
Yeah.
lands.
Yeah. So these other 4 sets, hey, maybe we'll get these lands at some point. Every time a set is announced, the players in the forums are like, I wonder if they'll give us these, the Grove of the Burn will cycle, right?
But maybe
'Cause they might.
it's now at a point where like I do like that Tarmogoyf and Horizon Canopy, which have only ever appeared in other Masters sets.
Right.
The Future Sight was predicting that they would be in the nostalgia sets,
Right,
and
yeah.
the reprint sets. So it's like that thing in science fiction that turns up every once in a while, the time machine.
The future, yeah.
The time machine that comes from the past, somebody
Yeah.
sending it back in time.
Yeah,
so
for
it
sure.
actually has no creator.
Wild.
Yeah, Horizon Canopy is its own father.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, speaking of a set that stuff showed up in eventually,
Shoutouts to Lurgoyf, sorry, for Tarmogoyf, just for being a
Lurgoyf.
an important predictor. Like Tarmogoyf actually was one of the most important cards of the set, just because of the hype of like, you know, tribal and planeswalker cards didn't exist yet, and it was a super curious whether or not this was a red herring. Right, like whether or not Planeswalker and tribal cards, because you know, like we still haven't found out which cycle Horizon Canopy's from. So like the Magic players didn't know if Planeswalker and tribal cards were coming or not. It turns out they would come in the very next set.
Yeah,
so,
wow.
But it was an interesting thing,
I had
right?
never put that together
When he was
before,
printed,
right.
he could become a 6/7 for 2 if all the stars aligned.
Yeah.
And so like in draft, getting him to a 3/4 was still pretty sweet. And in constructed, you could maybe aim to try to get him into being a 2-mana 4/5 or something, like that was reasonable. I think Eternal players were more excited about him because like lands were always in the graveyard, so like immediately getting him as a 4/5 was pretty reasonable. But then, as time wore on, it turned out you could turn this guy into a 6/7 pretty reliably. Yeah. So.
Neat.
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah. Well,
On to Lorwyn.
And with that, my pick for Lorwyn was Tarfire. For
yeah,
this reason.
Tarfire, the OG Walkers. I'm starting with Garrick Wildspeaker.
Yeah.
Gadok Teague.
Yeah, Gadok Teague. I think I gave this one to Gadok Teague just because it's the card I never want to see played against me.
Yeah. This is a really formidable set, I guess.
Also, like, for that little while in Modern where your opponent would be like, turn 1, fetch for a pain land, or a shock land, shock myself, cast Tarfire, targeting me, right? And you're like, oh, it's this deck.
Tyler Durden deck.
Yeah, it's the Fight Club deck where he's just like, you know, he makes the fist in the meeting with his boss and punches himself in the nose as hard as he can.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, next turn I'm looking at a Death Shadow, aren't I?
Yep. So Lorwyn was the start of a 4 expansion block,
Yes.
which is kind of cool. It was 2 pairs, like Lorwyn, Morningtide, Shadowmoor, Eventide. So Morningtide, V-Cleek,
Yeah, probably, right? Like
V-Cleek and or Bitter Blossom.
I love
Very.
I love playing V-Cleek wrong. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever played Cleek correctly ever in my life.
I think Bitter Blossom was the most terrifying card to come out of the set, but the most popular was certainly Mutavault.
Yeah.
Mutavault just
Mutavault's
went into
so
all the decks, and it
Yeah.
was such a big deal. We hadn't had like a really efficient creature land in a long time, and this one just went in everything. It was even best friends with its original sort of great grandfather, Mishra's Factory, because it's like almost the same as Mishra's Factory, but you know, Mishra's Factory comes
So-
on deck, which is sweet.
Scapeshift was printed in this set, and I imagine it didn't become relevant until Zendikar.
Absolutely not. No one cared about Scapeshift
It was like
until
yawn,
Valakut.
and it was like,
Yeah.
hey, what's this Valakut? Oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so now you can play this combo in Eternal or Extended. Sorry.
Yeah, excited. Yeah, and they did. There was also a really cool deck that came out after Zendikar that Jonathan Laux, who I believe for a little while was the host of Limited Resources, and I faced off against him at a PTQ in Vancouver, and he had aggro. It was like Naya aggro Scape Shift. He did have a Valakut, so if he got to 7 lands, he could kill his opponent with Scape Shift. But his game plan was just go Wild Nicatl, play to Geopid, Knight of the Reliquary, and then like Scape Shift to like attack with the first, or to attack with all 3 of them if possible. If he made all the land drops, and then the attack would just do like 30 damage or something because all the landfall triggers on his on his Geopede and the
Geopede's so sweet.
Or did I say Wild Nicatl? Sorry, I meant Steplinks. Sorry, first turn Steplinks, not first turn Wild Nicatl.
Meow.
Anyways, but yeah, Scape Shift, really cool card.
Yeah. Shadowmoor. My pick for that was Fulminator Mage.
Nice.
I mean,
because he's a cool card.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of all the lords. So like I played a fair bit
the
of
hybrid color lords.
Yeah, Giltleaf Liege, I think, or Wiltleaf Liege, really good card.
Yeah, Wiltleaf was really good, and
what was the
red
Boros
green
one?
Oh,
that was in the next set.
Next
so
set,
this one was
my
just
bad.
allied colors. That's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. But my pick for this set is Mirror Weave.
Whoa!
Which is this cool card.
Oh,
so
right.
you could play the Liege in either of the Lieges in mono white Kithkin, which is like the first deck I ever brought to a serious tournament. And I mean, that's not true. No, it was the first deck that I top 8'd a PTQ with. I had played other decks, but this was the first time I actually like did well, was playing White Weenie. And yeah, you could Mirror Weave your Liege so that all of your after combat, you can do it after blockers. So all creatures on the whole board would become your Wiltleaf Liege, which pumps itself.
Yeah.
So it was just like if you had more creatures than your opponent, and the block was like a little sketchy. They were going to take some damage. You could instead just ensure that they take like 12 damage or something.
Yeah, the suddenly geometric lords.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeesh. That's scary.
There's other things you can do with this card if you have that creature from Gate Crash that you win if you make clones of it or whatever. Or there's other weird things you can do with this guy. Yeah.
I was just going to give this one to Murderous Redcap.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Very solid.
So good.
Dressed up like him for Halloween once.
Really?
Did you?
It wasn't great, but yeah.
This guy just, combo piece also just perfectly fine on its own sometimes. Pretty hot in goblins. There's like an accidental infinite combo with this guy in the goblins deck.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he combos
That's
with
a pretty recent card, right?
Yeah, because the mono red goblins deck in Highlander plays a bunch of 1-mana sacrifice goblins cards like Skirk Prospector and like Goblin Sledder and stuff like that are just good in the deck, and then you can jam this guy in, and he combos with Metallic Mimic.
Right. Metallic Mimic. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, just infinity.
Infinite damage, and all of them are cards you pretty much want to be playing goblins anyway. Murderous Redcap's kind of on the fence in that deck because it's a 4-drop, but
yeah. But because you can saw your opponent in half with it, it gets in.
Yeah. Okay. Eventide?
Eventide.
Yeah, that Boros Lord is really good.
Yeah, I remember Matt Wiggins played that Boros Lord against me once when we were getting back into Magic, and I'm like, this game is broken. This game is broken and it's
I can't remember his name at all, but he's a Liege, and he's red and white.
Yeah.
And he's like 3 hybrid and 2, and then he just like
it just
affects
blew me
life
up.
totals a whole bunch every time you cast spells.
So
yeah,
I have for this set this is definitely a pet card of mine, but it's not a bad card. I just think it's underrepresented in the deck that it would be played in. I'm talking about Stigma Lasher.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
cool card, cool effect.
Thank you, Balefire Leech, yeah, Stigma Lasher.
Yeah,
pretty
cool.
unique effect, right?
It's like the artwork is really what puts it over the top for me. It's like,
cool.
yeah, look at that guy. He's just ready to mess you up.
Scary guy.
It's like, I am on fire. It's red for 2/2 with Wither, which is sweet. And then if he hits you, you can't gain life for the rest of the game.
It's like he withers you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My pick was Flicker Wisp.
Oh yeah, great card. Really,
just another hate
really
bear
weird
that I
card.
really hate seeing against me. But the best part about Flicker Wisp is that you never see it played against you because it always just gets flashed in at the beginning of your turn, so you can't untap your land.
Oh yeah, we could have given the shout out to Aethervile in Darksteel too. Another really important card. My pick for this set was Nip Gwillian to stand across the battlefield from your Stigma Lasher, I guess.
Yeah.
Nip Gwillian spawned a bit of an archetype, mostly just in block. It never really caught on, but it was a pretty amazing draft deck where you just go like Nip Gwillion and then the cloak from the black-white guild in Eventide also just costs 1 mana, so like on turn 2 you'd have like a 3/3 lifelink.
4/4. No, yeah,
I think it was +1/+2 and +2/+1. Or yeah, that is 4/4. Yeah, maybe it's 2 mana for a 4/4 lifelink. Is that right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Edge of the Divinity?
Yeah.
Was that the card? Yeah,
It'd be
pretty
a
cool.
3/3 if it was.
Yeah, I think that this one gives it +3/+3 because it's both black and white.
Right. If it was 2 +1/+1s, but if it was a +1/+2 and a +2/+1.
Well, it's Unholy Strength and Holy
Strength for the mana. Yeah, Edge of the Divinity. So yeah, sorry, it's a 4/4 lifelink on turn 2, which is pretty sweet.
That's pretty
And then you can just play like other decent removal behind it.
There we go.
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
look,
it's
I think
4/4.
that's the actual...
Yeah, that's who's supposed to wear it is the Nip.
It's like, I got my sword.
It was like a half decent casual standard deck.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also cheap.
Okay, so having just looked at the time here, we probably need to. We have discussed and realized that we need to do a third part of this.
There's a
this
lot of
podcast.
Magic sets.
Turns out
Yeah.
there's many Magic cards.
I felt we were going along at a reasonable clip, and all of a sudden we're at an hour in, and we're into this decade at least now, I think. So
No.
what we're going on?
2009. We're in 2009. Sorry.
Almost got there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call the podcast here for this week, and then we'll be back in the future to do a part 3, starting off with Shards Block.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
like a good place to start.
lots of good cards. That's actually when I think we got back into the set.
Yeah,
or back into playing.
I got into it around Zendikar.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got all the blocks to do. Also, this is the new set of M series.
Yes.
Because the 3rd through 9th edition were just reprints. And
Right.
starting with Magic 2010, they started printing new cards in the core sets.
3rd through
Okay.
10th edition, but yeah.
Yeah.
Magic 2010 is secretly 11th
Secretly
edition.
11th edition.
Yeah, they tried
Yeah.
to put that off. as
So
long as
there's
possible.
new stuff in that, and that's also we start getting into the commander sets, which are brand new cards that are really, really bizarre.
Yeah. So we've got a lot left to cover here, but we'll get back to it.
Cover it,
and
we
then-
shall.
Yeah. We'll have a set when we're done all of this. I swear to you. So, once again, Tap Tap Conceit is brought to you by you, the viewers over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you very much. And by our kind supporters over at cardkingdom.com/LRR. Cardkingdom.com. Pay them so they pay us. Once again, I've been Cameron.
I mean, Alex.
I am and still am Nelson.
And we'll be back at you next week with more casual Magic discussions.